All right, we've got a great Monday Night Football game tonight. We are looking forward to that. But before we do that, we should probably, just to be safe, sit down and answer every single fantasy football question that any of you can ask us. So you know what to do. Number one, drop a like on the stream. Number two, drop any question you have, whether that's a waiver question, a trade question, a start-sit question, I'm 0-3, what the heck should I do with my roster question. In the comments, we're going to be answering every single comment that we can today, and we are going to make sure that you guys get some pre-Monday Night Football entertainment from the two of us. Do us a huge favor, like I said, make sure you drop a like on the video. I see the likes going up. Appreciate that so much. Let's get that number up. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do. And like I said, drop every single question you have in the comments. We'll start answering questions here in just a minute. So like I said, pre-Monday Night Football talk. I don't think my mic does this until I start live streaming, and then it's like, you know what?
It just doesn't want to work.
I'm gonna fall down again.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
It is great to see all of you. Who do you have tonight? Who's winning tonight?
I got Seattle.
Is that who you picked for the game picks? I think I picked Seattle too.
Nice.
We're tied right now.
I see what you did. You're trying to. Did we both suck? What was your record?
I'm not switching my pick. No, I'm at 10 right now. So
this week? Yeah. No way. I got 10.
No, you have 9.
Oh, okay.
But we're tied for the season. So Nathan and I have a game picks competition, but I see some questions rolling in. Drop all your questions in there. We're going to get to these in just a second.
Super chats prioritized.
Super
Jump
chats.
the line.
Yep. We'll do super chats like normal, but none yet. So we will go through and answer all these questions. I'm sure there's going to be people flowing in with lots of questions though. So let us know in the comments also how you are doing through. We now have 4 weeks, right? How you are doing through 4 weeks of fantasy football.
Yeah.
I have some good teams. I have some teams that I wish had done better, and I have some teams I'm like, okay, that team might actually suck. And I have teams with Saquon Barkley and Aaron Jones and Austin Eckler and Aaron Rodgers and Jimmy Garoppolo where I'm like, who the heck do I start now?
Yeah.
So there's also that part of it as well. Let's start up at the top here with the one and only Anna Gwynn, who says, yay, another live stream. Let's go. Anna Carter Sykes says, hope all is well, guys. Good to see you. And Carter, thank you for joining us, my man. Good to see you as well. Glad you could join us. Toronto Dave with the triple celebration emoji. Good to see you, Toronto Dave, who is from Toronto. Also a good follow on Twitter. Cam says, next week, start Purdy versus the Cowboys or Lawrence versus the Bills. Both brutal matchups. I do have to agree those are both brutal matchups. I'm going to go with...
I'll take the better quarterback and take Lawrence.
So that's my gut, but then I'm like, well, but Purdy, all he has to do is get it to his weapons. So I was originally thinking, let's go with the better quarterback. So let's go with Trevor Lawrence for that one for sure.
Yep. KJ Frederick says, better bye week QB based off matchup, Howell or Dobbs, full PPR. I cannot believe I'm saying Josh Dobbs, but I'm saying Josh Dobbs. I was actually just looking at his game log over the last few weeks. He can kind of throw
multiple 20-point games.
Multiple 20-point games. Yeah. He's looked... I mean, legitimate. He's throwing the ball quite a bit. I can't believe. Josh Dobbs.
Yeah, so we'll go Josh Dobbs there. Dylan says Tank, Dell, or Nico Collins at flex this week. Thanks for joining us, Dylan. Good to see you again. This week, dang, they are trying to get us in trouble with this question. You know how we feel about this. Like, we do think Nico Collins is the wide receiver 1 there. I'm more comfortable on a regular basis starting Nico Collins. I just am. He has been very, very good this season, and he looked good last week too. So,
Yep.
what do you think? Like, I feel like they're trying to trap us with the Nico versus Tank debate.
Yeah, I mean, when you're looking at, and I don't want to discredit Tank Dell. Don't take this as, you're anti-Tank Dell. We've been down that road. We're not going to do it again. We're going to be really nice to Tank Dell. I'm just saying from a fantasy perspective, who do I trust more going into this week? It's going to be Nico Collins, because he has, on his productive weeks, he's been productive with more volume, and Tank Dell has been productive with less, meaning that Tank Dell is very, big play dependent. So, I mean, if you take away that huge big play that he had in week 3, he doesn't get 25 points. He probably gets 10, and it's just that it is what it is, but we could totally be wrong. We've already been wrong 2 weeks about that receiving core for sure, but
they keep flip-flopping. Who are you starting, Sam?
Should I act like the missing Simon and just
just say Tank Dell, just so that one of us is right.
I don't have any shares of Nico Collins, so I'll be starting Tank Dell.
Oh, push for Tank
Fair
Dell.
enough. Hey, if you hear any loud banging, there's air conditioning maintenance going on in this basement. That's why we're not recording videos right now. We went live instead because we knew you guys wouldn't care. Chris Thompson. What is up, Chris Thompson? PPR redraft, start 7. Monty and Ayuk for Bijan. Oh, my gosh. Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you give your team, you got A-Chain, it looks like, so that's good. JT's coming back? Yes. Yeah, I'm doing that all day. That's a ridiculous team. Yes, make that trade, Chris. Let us know if you get that done. Cam does say, should Kareem Hunt be rostered? I don't roster Kareem Hunt. Do you?
I think he's still worth rostering for a couple more weeks in a 12 team.
Okay, there you go.
So
in a 12 team, yes. Thoughts on Keaton Mitchell?
I don't have any thoughts on him, honestly.
I don't really either, sorry.
Yeah.
Do we like Michael Wilson or Marvin Mims?
Michael Wilson, because he's not big play dependent. He gets actual volume, and I know it's only been 1 week. Maybe that's overreacting a little bit, but when you're looking at the matchups, I mean, Denver, remind me who they're playing against. They're playing the Jets. They're not going to do anything in that game. I actually think the Jets are going to destroy them.
If you mean as a whole, I think Marvin Mims is more rosterable right now than than Michael Wilson.
He's more rosterable than himself.
Is that funny, guys?
Yeah.
Is that really funny that I said that? I think he's more rosterable right now than Michael Wilson until we see Michael Wilson put together, multiple performances like this. Michael Wilson is the second most trending player on Sleepers waivers right now. So you do have to consider that when you're putting together your strategy. However, right now, from a rosterable standpoint, Marvin Mims, we personally like Michael Wilson more, though. Yep. So that's kind of how that goes. All right, Carter's got a question. My team in a 12-man PPR is Tua, Ramondre, Rashad. I'm going to not read all of these, but I'm reading them in my head. Any moves you think I should make or trade targets? I would be curious to know your record so we could tailor your trades towards your record and your situation. However, looking at your team off the top of my head, I don't see any super big sells besides maybe Darren Waller. So Darren Waller would be a guy that if you have Darren Waller and Hunter Henry, I don't think that's really necessary. So if anybody needs a tight end and wants to buy one of those guys, you make that sell for sure. It looks like your quarterback is good. Your running backs are pretty good. If you can,
Judy.
Yeah,
sell Judy.
If you can sell Judy for anything, we're still doing that.
No need having Judy on that team.
Yeah,
with Tyreek, Jettas, and
again,
Devontae.
And if you're 4-0, then I don't know if you're making a lot of moves, but that's a good question, and so that's kind of our answer there. I'll let you start with Anthony's question.
Yeah, Anthony says, what should I do with Raheem Mostert? That's a great question, and we are going to stick with our take of you should be holding Raheem Mostert. At this point, with Devon A-Chain having a second week now where he's put up multiple touchdowns and very
stock
explosive
is going to be
with this
low.
Limited opportunity, Raheem Mostert's stock is going to be low. We're not going to say buy Raheem Mostert. There was a buy window for him before he put up his 45 points, and that really was nice, but at this point, again, don't ship him off for a bag of peanut shells or anything. Just hold on to him.
All right, we're going to skip ahead here. We do have a super chat from Powerhouse. Powerhouse says, RB help. Rashad White, Alexander Madison for Calvin Ridley. Fair? So I'm assuming that means you're giving up Calvin Ridley since you're getting the help at running back. And I'm not super comfortable making that, actually. I think if I'm going to be selling Calvin Ridley, and number one, I think you're selling low on Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, it's a bad time to sell low.
I think it's a bad time to sell Calvin Ridley. I think you could get more for him if he has a crazy game, like next week even. So when I'm thinking of trying to move off of Calvin Ridley for running back help, I'm going to be aiming for guys that have a little bit of a higher ceiling. If you could help me out with some trade targets here. But I'm for the best guy you're getting here to be Rashad White. We don't like acquiring Alexander Madison right now at all. Rashad White has been good. However, I'm thinking more of a I don't know who should we target here with Calvin Ridley.
We've said Joe Mixon for multiple weeks now because he keeps disappointing like every asset in that offense.
Sure.
But Mixon is getting so much volume and so much opportunity that at some point he is going to be able to capitalize there because he's the only guy there that's doing anything at this point on a consistent basis. So that's a guy that I would target. Even Swift is risky. I don't want to say Swift.
No, I think Swift would be better.
You think Swift would be better?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kyron Williams, even. Yeah, if there's a chance that you could get Kyron Williams.
Yeah, Kyron Williams is a better. Yeah, so just aim a little bit higher than that. And drop back in on the streams and let us know, or if you're on our Discord, head over to our Discord and DM us. Let us know what trade options you have, and we'll definitely weigh in and help you find the best one. But yeah, well, do I think it's fair? Right now, it probably is, but it's because Calvin Ridley's value is so low. So I would be wanting to hold Calvin Ridley until his value goes up if you are going to sell him. And if you are going to sell him now, I still would want to aim a little bit higher. Moving on to Blind here. Blind says, yo, he's 2-2. Running back buys with Kirk, DJM, and C-Watt as trade bait. I'll let you start with this one.
Yeah, so you have Christian Kirk. I'm not selling Christian Kirk personally. We are, spoiler alert, going to be looking to sell DJ Moore and personally for me, Christian Watson as well because we both think Dubs is the guy there in Green Bay. But, I mean, you can get a hefty price for DJ Moore. I mean, as insane as the Bears fan base is and as insane as people are when it comes to the Bears offense and what they think they're capable of doing this year, I think you have to be selling DJ Moore high even now. And I mean, it took uncharacteristic volume in that offense for him to even be a wide receiver one. So I'm thinking, I mean, for DJ Moore, I'm shooting for the stars here. I'm shooting for any guy that has disappointed for a couple. I think it's possible, I really do, that you could even get like a Josh Jacobs if you sold DJ Moore
and Christian Watson,
and maybe Christian Watson.
I think Josh Jacobs, the Joe Mixon range is going to be a good one. The Kyron Williams range,
DJ Moore and Christian Watson for Saquon Barkley.
I mean, because he's out right now. If you've got a team that's trying to sell Austin Eckler because they're trying to win right now, like guys like that, so that gives like 5 or 6 options. Again, I think the guys that we're definitely looking to use this trade bait, especially DJ Moore, and then secondarily Christian Watson. So both Chew Powerhouse and Blind, we do appreciate your super chats. Thanks for supporting the channel.
Yeah, Brendan Milligan says, what moves do I make for a tight end? And he shared his roster with us there. It's a 1 QB, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 2 flex, and 6 bench with 3 IR. Your tight ends there currently are Dalton Kincaid, Musgrave, and I believe that's it. Look, man, with the way your roster is right now, having Jamar Chase, having Devontae Smith, having Hollywood Brown, I mean, Addison, Watson, Puka, like all of these guys, I have no issue with your team. I have no issue with the guys that you have at tight end. If anything, just drop one of those guys and go pick up Jake Ferguson. Go pick up Zach Ertz. Go pick up one of those tight ends that's starting to get hot and just get him off waivers and hope that he can right the ship for you for a bit there at the position. Just keep recycling these guys off of waivers at tight end because remember, in fantasy football, past the top 4 producing tight ends, if you're in a non-tight end premium league, it is irrelevant, completely irrelevant, the position. So I wouldn't be too worried there at all. Dylan says, do you think Moss is still a viable running back 2? I don't know when JT is coming back. So Jonathan Taylor is practicing officially on Wednesday. Shane Steichen, now this is a game plan strategy thing. He did say wouldn't take JT out of the equation for our game plan this week against Tennessee. I would anticipate JT doesn't play this week. They probably ease him into his role going into week 6. That's just my own opinion on it. Regardless, this completely kills Moss's value.
Yeah, no, the answer to your question is no, he's not still a viable RB2. He's definitely a hard sell this week if anybody wants to pay anything for him. But I think now that Jonathan Taylor, that has been announced, is coming back to practice, it's probably too late on that up front. So, no, I don't think he is, and I think you should be looking to move off of him. Guys, we got a lot of comments flowing in, so ask all your questions, trade questions, waiver questions, fantasy football start sit.
Don't spam the same comment.
Don't spam the same thing because we're going to have to take it off. And also, again, we're way back behind here, so super chats are going to jump the line. Hey, drop a like on the video if you haven't. We've got 27 likes. Let's get that up. I appreciate you guys. All right, moving on. Chris Thompson says, great stream. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Chris, for joining us. Appreciate that. Brendan said, we already got Brendan's, Or down to David's.
David says, down by 11 points. You think DK will come through tonight? I would love to see DK.
Should we do what's it? The Luke Sawhook thing. What is it? The candles.
Manifest.
Yeah. I couldn't think of the freaking word. I'm like, what? Should we manifest it right here on the stream? Do you have any candles, Sam?
No.
Oh, okay.
Gosh, where's Simon when you need him? Zachary Gaskin says 2-2 and 1, 3-1 in another. Yeah, that's a good start for your fantasy leagues there. Valen Fleming says 12-man full PPR. I traded Sutton and Jerome Ford for Ridley. I like that a lot. My other wide receivers are Amari Cooper, Amon-Ra, JSN Palmer, Christian Watson, and your running backs are James Cook, Aaron Jones, and Eckler. Did you win that trade? Yes, we really like that trade. And this is just funny. I love how the turns table with our opinion of Calvin Ridley, we were really low on him going into the season because he was being drafted too high. And now the fantasy community as a whole in general is very, very low on Ridley because of his disappointing start to the season, which is what we expected. Please buy him at a discount. Ham says, already have Josh Allen and can only start one QB. Traded Miles Sanders and Brock Purdy for Aaron Jones and Daniel Jones. I like that you got Aaron Jones. I mean, if you're looking at Brock Purdy and Miles Sanders for Aaron Jones straight up, in a 1 QB, I'm taking Aaron Jones. It's nice that you got Daniel Jones on top of that. But look, if I'm you, I'm looking to even flip Daniel Jones in that deal and go get another skill position guy to a team that thinks they have to have a backup quarterback on their roster at all times. In a 1 QB, it is worthless to have a backup quarterback. It really is. So, Oscar Garcia says, I'm 3-1 and hurting depth-wise. I have Debo and Mike Evans. Oof. I have Marquise Brown for replacement, and who should I target in a trade for Evans or Debo? I am not trading Debo Samuel. We really like him for the rest of the season. The reason he had such a dud game this week is because he was banged up from the previous week, and they just kind of... They had him start from a schematic perspective. It just helped them with their game plan. Evans, we're really worried about the hamstring. If you can sell Evans for 85 to 90% of what he was valued at before this injury, I would still go ahead and bite because we are definitely worried about him for the rest of the season, not just because of the injury, but his production was not sustainable. Are there any targets that you could think of that you could get in return?
No, and the other thing I want to say here is if you're 3-1, I wouldn't freak out yet.
Maybe you don't have to make any moves.
You might not have. If you were even 1-3, like I'd probably be like, okay, you have to move one of those guys.
If you're hurting depth wise because of bye weeks, don't worry about it because everyone else in your league is worrying about the same thing.
Yes.
Plus, I mean, if you have Hollywood Brown on your bench to replace those guys, I mean, Hollywood's been as good as we expected. So, and I think you got to see that continue this year. Daryl says, with the turnstile at running back for the Ravens, is Keaton Mitchell coming off IR a name to watch? No, he isn't. It's going to continue to be what it is, a committee backfield.
Yes. And
the Ravens honestly seem to function best when they have that situation going on with Lamar because Lamar truly is he's the best running threat there, and they're going to keep it that way. That's why he's such a good quarterback. Crazy Madness says 999.
What's up, Crazy Madness?
What do you think Jordan Addison's ceiling could be in Dynasty? I think his ceiling would be a high-end wide receiver too.
Yep.
For fantasy and value-wise.
Yes.
Toronto Dave says a voice.
A voice. Eyes,
Where?
eyes.
It's got to be the banging.
Who is it?
I don't know.
Or is it Sam?
No,
it's
he's
producer
probably
Sam.
Oh, he's talking about Sam, yeah. Duh. All right, Mystic Flame says 12-team By the way, guys, put all your questions, comments in the comments section. We're going to answer literally every single question you ask. Yep. And super chats are going to jump the line, so if you've got something super important, they come up first. 12-team Dynasty Superflex start 11 trade Fields and Monty for Trevor Lawrence. Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. Mystic Flame, yes, please do that. Nicholas, what's up, Nicholas? Says, where are you ranking A-Chain from now on? Oh, good question.
Yeah.
Should I trade Jamar Chase for CD and Nico? Ooh, I actually don't hate that trade.
I'm fine with that deal.
I'm good with the Jamar Chase trade, actually. For A-Chain, man, I mean, I think there is a viable argument he should be ranked in the top 15 of running backs rest of season pretty easily. I mean, if he continues to get the workload he does, you're talking about a running back on the best offense in football.
Yep. And that is what we are still worried about a little bit going into. We just want to see. We're being a little bit greedy. We just want to see a little bit more before we're like, this guy is a bona fide top 12 running back in fantasy for the rest of the season because his volume, it was ridiculous when they scored 70 points, had 4 touchdowns. Then he has 2 touchdowns this week with way less opportunity. He only had 8 carries and I think like 4 targets or something
27
like that.
points.
So, and still had 27 points. So that means he makes the most out of his limited opportunity, but you still, you still have a few question marks where you're like, okay, at some point the defense has to respond to this situation and not allow A-Chain to get these explosive plays when he's on the field. But at the same time, I don't think you can really doubt what he's done, and you do have to start him. It's just we got to see what he does without touchdowns at some point and see what his floor really is.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. This is from Zach, by the way. I have moved Andrews and DJ Moore for Mixon and Godwin. Holy crap.
Nice
that's
job.
Awesome.
Nice job.
I have Ingram at tight end.
Yeah,
you're
chilling.
Let's clap for Zach. Good job, Zach.
Yep.
Brandon, what's up, Brandon? Good to see you again. Should I trade Ridley? I have Diggs and Amon-Ra and Marquise Brown. If so, what for? Our advice is going to be on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Hold.
Or hold, whatever.
Yeah, okay,
we have Nathan,
Sorry.
All right, we got to get
Let's
on
say
the
no
link
again.
tonight. Let's say, all right, 1, 2, 3.
No.
There we go. You're not trading Calvin Ridley right now because, again, you're going to be selling low. You don't want to sell low on Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley is still a guy with very good fantasy upside. Trevor Lawrence not playing the best right now. We'll see if he can get it together, but let's not sell low on Calvin Ridley because at this point it's not worth it at the moment. Carter is back, and he says he's in a 12-man PPR. I think he already asked this question, actually.
Yep.
He did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Viral Lego says Anthony Richardson or Jalen Hurts this week. Here's my advice: trade one of them, please.
Yes, that's great.
Trade one of
that
them
is
so
a
you don't
great
have
answer to that
situation.
question. And then start the one you keep.
Yep.
Which one should you keep? I mean, it doesn't really matter, actually. They're going to both produce as high fantasy assets. Like, you're good with any of them. Hunter Haught says 1 QB half PPR dynasty: Trevor Lawrence, Cook, Connor, CD, Garrett Wilson, Laporta, Pacheco, Puka, and on the bench you have Young, Zeke, Dowdle, Gainwell, Judy, Dubs, Sky Moore, Higbee, and Jameson Williams. That is a big bench. Wow. Wow, that looks fantastic. I want to see if you dropped a question down here, but you didn't. If you're wanting a roster, should I sell high on Pacheco in Dynasty, Puka, or should I sell low on Judy in Dynasty? You should not. I wouldn't sell. I would be fine selling Pacheco. Puka, no, you should not.
Don't sell Puka.
You could sell Judy low. I'm fine with that. Good question. Brandon, you next.
Yeah. Brandon says 10-man league. I have Gibbs, Swift, Diggs, Amon-Ra, Ridley, Marquise Brown, Zach Ertz, and the Eagles D. I am 2-2. Any advice? Like we've been saying, make sure you're holding Calvin Ridley. Don't quite freak out about him yet. Love that you have DeAndre Swift. Not loving that you have Jahmyr Gibbs. This is kind of a sucky situation for you because you've got two guys that aren't producing, and there's absolutely nothing that you should be selling these guys for because their upside is too high for the return that you would be getting for them because they've been disappointing in fantasy. Zach Ertz, I'm fine starting Zach Ertz. He had another good week when you look at the stats, but honestly, it was like majority garbage time stuff, and we got really, really lucky this week with him. So if there are any better tight end options off of waivers, I would maybe look there as a possibility in the coming weeks if Ertz keeps disappointing. But other than that, man, I think you just got to sit tight. You're 2-2. You're not losing out on anything. You're not at risk of losing your league yet. Don't freak out about anything, though. I mean, we are panicking about Jahmyr Gibbs, but again, you're just your hands are tied. Anthony Villarosa says, I have 10-man PPR Fields Love. Not going to read your whole roster. What should I do with this team? You need to trade one of your quarterbacks. You need to trade either Fields or Love, and at this point, I'm trading Justin Fields. Love has proven to be more consistent. He doesn't require solely rushing upside to be productive. Yes, Fields had a good game with 300-plus passing yards, but that was against the Denver Broncos defense, which is currently historically bad at the rate that they're going right now. Your running backs are fine. Obviously, Barkley hurts you, but he's hurt, so he'll come back and he'll be just fine. You've Pollard and Derrick Henry. Like, what the heck, dude? I think your team is completely fine, and I'm very comfortable with your depth. Jason Davis says, do I deal CMC in my keeper league or ride him out? I can't keep CMC any longer after this year, or I can ride him out and keep 3 of Saquon, Keenan, Jacobs, Kupp. I think this ultimately depends on what pick you're going to have to give up if you keep CMC. Because I think that completely depends on that. So, but I mean, if you're in contention right now and you have a chance to win your league, I think your hands are tied and you have to hold CMC. You have to keep him on your roster because, and even ride him out if you have a lot of longevity with your roster as well. So Steve Morris says, just tuned in. Did my Bills defense get the respect after that showing against Miami? Yeah, I think they did.
Bills defense did well. Clapping for the Bills defense right now.
Yep. Good job.
Good call, Steve.
Schlatt says, I have A.J. Brown, Cup, Nakua, Ayuk, Sutton, and McLaurin, and Dubs. Any trade suggestions, players to keep for the future? So Ayuk will be looking to sell if anyone in your league is willing to buy high on him when he, again, had a nice productive week, 20 points, and then he's going to go and lay 5 points next week, most likely. And that's just our opinion on Ayuk. He's never shown consistency in the past. It's kind of the reality of a Shanahan offense for the Niners when you have that many weapons. So Cortland Sutton's a guy that how did he do this week? Did he put up like
Sutton?
14
He had a
points?
touchdown.
He had a touchdown? Yeah. So if you could sell Sutton high as well, I would definitely be looking to do that.
Yes.
If you can get anything for him, even package Ayuk and Sutton together to get a more elite running back or an elite wide receiver, that would be a good move there for sure. Jeremiah says 3-1, 10-team non-PPR starters are not going to read them. I have Richardson on my bench. Would it be smart to package him and Waddle for a upgrade at wide receiver? I don't know what type of upgrade you're going to get with AR and Waddle that's going to be worth it. I mean, you would literally have to get Justin Jefferson. I know Waddle had a down week. I know Waddle was injured the week before. But remember, the reason he put up 0 points is because he had a concussion the week before, and this week was just not a good day for Miami's offense in general. I still think Waddle is going to be fine this year. You have Hurts and AR. You're onto something, though. You should definitely be trading one of those QBs. Maybe package him with someone else and upgrade at running back. You have Jacobs and Eckler. Eckler's hurt. I mean, if you can get a better flex option there on top of those running backs, like, do it. Go for it, man. Cameron says 14-team full PPR. Currently going on 0-4 because, Joe Burrow, that would be why. You have Javonte Williams, that would be why. You have London, that would be why. Goddard, yep. This is starting to add up. This is starting to make sense. Jalen Warren, all the offseason hype that he got, look what that ended up doing for all of us. Zach Charbonnet hasn't done anything to start the season. Marvin Mims he looks like one of your best assets right there. That's just unfortunate. Bijan Robinson, he really is your best asset there. Definitely holding Bijan Robinson. Here's what I would do.
For sure.
Anyone who's producing right now that has major questions from a talent perspective and a situation perspective, I'd be selling. Brian Robinson is my guy right here. If you can sell Brian Robinson and try to shore up your wide receiver situation, let's start there. And you don't really have a lot to lose at this point because you are 0-4. Just start experimenting because I don't think this is going to change anytime soon.
All right, we got a super chat, so let's jump up to Brandon. Brandon, we appreciate you, my man. Thank you for joining us again. We love having you on here. Puka, rest of the season view with Cup back this week. I'm going to let you in on a little secret here in the Domain Studios. We are not super confident in Cooper Kupp's health right now.
No.
Not at all. So to us, even if Puka does take a slight hit, when Cooper Kupp does come back, he's definitely somebody that we are not selling, that we are holding throughout the rest of the season. With the price at what you got him for, the boom potential is going to be much higher. Not to mention, everybody's going to be down on Puka when Cooper Kupp comes back. So you're not going to be able to sell him at the price that he is currently or that he should be going at. When you've got that other player waiting in the wings, you do have that effect where you've got, a value hit. It was like with Raheem Mostert. The Raheem Mostert was taking a value hit in real time because people knew Devon Achane was there, even though Devon Achane hadn't produced. And now Devon Achane has produced, and you have Raheem Mostert taking a serious value hit. It's going to be the same thing here with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. We're going to hold Puka. We think he's going to be productive this year as Cooper Kupp comes back still. So we are going to be fine holding him. But Brandon, again, thank you for the question. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it, my man. And we're going to jump up to Steve Morris now. Steve, what's up? Love the show, guys. Thanks for the shout out on the Bills. You are very welcome. You nailed that one, and I read your comment, and you were right about that. In my Superflex Dynasty, I need help short-term at running back. Is Jaleel McLaughlin worth some free agent dollars? Yes, he is. Because Javon, in a dynasty league, absolutely. You're not.
Yes,
because you're talking about a much deeper roster.
Right.
Yeah, I would be spending some money on Jaleel McLaughlin. Yeah. I do think that he's going to get some run this year while Javonte Williams is out. Not only, but even if Javonte does come back, I do think that there's an opportunity for him to stay involved.
He was explosive enough with his limited volume that they could at least implement him more into that offense. Because P. Ryan hasn't really done much. Did P. Ryan even play?
Yeah, he did play. Yeah, and this guy was getting snaps over him.
Yeah.
So, especially in a dynasty league where you don't have a ton of like super valuable waiver guys during the season every year, I'm super comfortable using some free agent budget on that. What percentage of my budget? I'm probably 15%-ish is okay with me, 15-20%.
Yeah.
So you can shell out, a fifth of your budget and spend it in a dynasty league on Jaleel McLaughlin. So again, Steve, thank you for the shout out. We appreciate you, man, and appreciate your Bills defense doing well this week.
Yeah.
Let's jump back up here.
Cameron says, are you dropping Zay Jones after this week? I put him on IR since he was out this week. Yeah, I think this is a classic, maybe a bit of an overreaction from a lot of people, including us, after week 1 when he was playing the Colts secondary. And we were like, hey, this guy is absolutely rosterable, and he's going to get some nice target volume here. And it just hasn't really worked out, honestly, and that is going to be attributed to the fact that the Jags offense as a whole just has looked pretty off. There's a chance that later in the season Zay Jones starts to have a bit of a resurgence once the Jags offense picks up, but at this point, I mean, he is kind of clogging your roster. If you have a shallow bench, shallow depth in a small fantasy league, I would consider him as a drop candidate for sure. Make Call of Duty great again. What's up, my man? Nice to have you back. 18 4-point passing touchdown. A-Rich won me my week. Yes, sir. Definitely dropping Burrow, even though it hurts. Was that a pun? Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. In an 8-team, yeah. That's completely fine.
Yep.
Isaiah Land says, do I also have too many running backs on my bench? Standard half PPR roster. His running backs are Kyron Williams, Javonte, and he's flexing Diggs, Lamb, Ridley, and his bench is London, Addison, Montgomery, Warren, Roschon, and Laporta and Purdy. So basically your running back core is Monty and Warren and Roschon, and then you've got Kyron and Javonte. I don't think you have too many running backs there. No. A lot of those guys are big question marks that you kind of have to plug and play every single week, and I'm comfortable with that based off of matchup. Hunter Hot says, should I sell high on Pacheco?
Skip that one.
In Dynasty?
Yeah, we already did that one.
Gotcha.
Sorry,
Mystic Flame. Yeah, Mystic Flame says 12-team Dynasty Superflex start 11. Trade Addison and Zach Moss for Garrett Wilson. I'm taking Garrett Wilson. I am taking Garrett Wilson over Addison, straight up. And Zach Moss does not move the needle for me, so I'll take Wilson there.
Yeah. Hey guys, if you have questions, if you are second guessing any fantasy football decision, we are glad to give you our input on that. So drop all your questions, start sits. You've got waiver questions, you've got strategy questions, you've got trade questions. You don't know what to do because your team sucks. You don't know what to do because you've lost games and your team's actually not that bad. Drop them in the comments. We're going to go through and help you guys out tonight. We appreciate you so much. Make sure you drop a like on the video and make sure, like I said, Super Chat jump the line if you want to have your question answered before everybody else's, because we're way back in this list right now. That's how you get to the front of the line. Let's keep going here, and let's start with Dylan's question. Dylan says, I have Darren Waller starting at tight end 1, currently in a 10-man PPR league, okay? I have Jake Ferguson on my bench as a backup. It's a good backup. If Waller doesn't perform tonight, it's the time to give up on him. I mean, I think
time to sell him.
I think it's time to sell him.
If he even performs tonight and does well, because the Seahawks defense is not very good, right. I would sell him then, because I think Ferguson is just as viable of an option as Waller is for the rest of the season. Yeah,
100% agree. Thanks for the question, Dylan. Non-PPR 10-team 3-1. Congratulations on that.
Yeah.
2 QB, 3 running backs, 6 wide receivers, 1 tight end. He's got Jalen Hurts, Goff, Saquon, Eckler, Pollard, Godwin, Marquise Brown, Stephon Diggs. Holy crap. Jacoby Myers is 10-team too. Michael Thomas and Sam Laporta. That is a fantastic team.
Yep.
His bench, by the way, is 2-2 Kyron Williams, Daniel Jones, and Kittle. Really good team again. So, like I said, well done. It seems like you drafted well and you're having some success. That's very good, and congratulations on being 3-1. We got a super chat here. We're going to jump up. It is Brandon. Again, Brandon, you are turning into our favorite person right now. We appreciate you, my friend. Huge Eagles fans, making sure I'm being reasonable. Okay, dude, we're friends with an Eagles fan.
Let's go.
We like.
Well,
like you.
yeah, what is that?
To be fair,
is that an oxymoron? Huge Eagles fan and reasonable? Sorry,
right.
Sorry, Brandon.
No,
that's pretty good,
dude. Sam, I mean, the dude just gave us a super chat. You can't be saying stuff like that.
Thank you, Brandon.
Dude, Brandon, we love you. Where do you think Swift will finish this year, especially considering the brotherly shove, that's awesome, at the goal line? Nathan, I'll let you answer this question. Nathan's our resident Swift truther.
Yeah, I have been screaming DeAndre Swift all of the offseason since he went to the Eagles. I said in fantasy, his upside is so high. And look, it is paying off so far. Obviously, injuries have always been a concern, not his talent. But playing behind one of the best offensive lines, I don't care. With his receiving upside, man, I don't honestly give a rip that he's not getting the 1 yard goal line carries. Jalen Hurts can punch those in for all I care. If Swift is getting his targets, if he's as explosive as he has been behind this offensive line that's just straight up elite, I literally don't care. He's already massively outproducing the price that he was going in fantasy. I think he finishes as a high-end running back, too, if he's healthy, maybe even a low-end running back 1.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Let's jump back up to Steel Mob. Again, Brandon, thank you so much for your question, man. Let us know if you have any other ones. I definitely think that you're being reasonable with Swift, and I do think that he actually could produce. I'm ready to get my heart broken again, but he's a good guy to own right now. And sometimes that's when your bias comes in handy. That's why when us drafting 25% AR comes in handy, because we're biased. So
right.
Yeah, we can be unreasonable too as Colts fans. So don't listen to Sam. All right, Steel Mob says, who do I start next week, Kenneth Walker or A-Chain?
Well, the Seahawks are on a bye, so you have to start A-Chain.
Good catch. Bye week start this week.
Were you trying to trick us, Steel?
Maybe it was. Maybe Steel Mob just didn't know that.
Yeah, that's true.
Steel Mob, appreciate you. Next question. Just traded MT and Mostert for Pierce and Pittman. How do we feel?
4-2, how did you do that?
How did you do that? That's great. Good job. Great trade. Chris is going to be next. Should I be worried about Kittle at tight end? I have Mahomes, Stroud, A.J. Brown, Ridley, Ayuk, Dell, Flowers, Swift, Demont, and some bench running backs. Any trades? At Kittle, at tight end, no. I mean, you're talking about a tight end, a very good tight end on a very good offense. We're going to be comfortable waiting that out. The difference with Darren Waller is that the Giants offense isn't looking any good. So that was always my thing. And, I do think looking at your roster, Mahomes, Stroud, needs to be Ridley, Ayuk, Dell. No, I mean, do you see anybody you're going to trade here? I like this roster a lot.
I'm completely fine with that roster.
Chris, you've got a great roster, my man. Let's jump up to our super chat here from Elliot. Elliot, we appreciate the crap out of you, my friend. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. We cannot do without you guys. And your question is, he dropped a Dynasty question in here. I love this. Elliot, this is my favorite.
You're speaking of love language.
We're ready now. 12-team Superflex Dynasty half PPR. I'm suffering some wide receiver injuries, looking to move Bijan to get depth. Who should I target? Maybe a running back and a wide receiver to replace him, but you don't have your first this year, but you have 2 next year. Okay, so because you do not have that first, you are going to be looking to win this year. And if that does mean you're going to have to move Bijan, even in a half PPR league, that is something that we are going to have to approach very carefully, because you are talking about one of the best players in Dynasty Fantasy Football, period. One of the best assets. So if you're looking to down tier to a running back and a wide receiver, I think you're aiming for a combination of third and even either second and third round capital guys or third and fourth round capital guys.
In a half PPR, there's got to be a contender out there that has Jamar Chase that would be willing to give you Chase plus for Bijan right now. Do you
maybe?
Think? I think it's actually a possibility because of how bad the Bengals have looked. Here's my thing with Bijan. If you are going to trade Bijan, we are very careful with depth. Very careful with depth, because anytime you're down tiering, you don't have the best player in the deal. We usually lean the best player. It's super risky. But for you in your situation, since you don't have picks in 2024, since you're already probably not contending because of your injuries, I don't hate the idea, because Bijan is scoring points right now. If you have got to make this contender pay, and you have to wait to sell Bijan until week 8 or later on, because there's going to be some contenders that want to make a push that get really desperate at running back, because those are going to be the owners of Saquon, of Eckler, of Jacobs, of Derrick Henry, and one of those guys, Aaron Jones, Mixon, one of those guys is going to get hurt for a significant amount of time. You can almost guarantee it, and one of them is going to be desperate for a running back. And they will pay big bucks, man, to get Bijan, because that's a long-lasting dynasty asset as well.
So some trade targets here for you real quick. At running back, right now, Jonathan Taylor is a great value in dynasty leagues. He's extremely cheap.
Yep.
At wide receiver, you have guys like Drake London. I think Drake London is a smashing buy in dynasty. I would guess his value has gone down, as has Jackson Smith and Jigbas. If you can get JSN in a deal like this, that's another great throw-in. I know JSN's not going to help you this year, but Jonathan Taylor probably will, because he's probably going to play next week, if not the week after.
Quentin Johnston will go nowhere but up the second this season ends.
But if he doesn't have his first, he's contending, so that I probably should gear that more towards contending guys. If you can down tier to CMC plus, that would be great. Obviously, he's a league winner, but obviously the team that has CMC is going to be good as well. So those are some ideas. I think if you need to down tier,
Bijan's the only young running back that isn't approaching a second deal anytime soon that's actually producing right now.
I think if you
Breece Hall plus.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, Breece Hall plus is great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Because Breece will probably start producing as the season continues as well.
If not, target, you said you have Tyreek, which is great. I honestly, again, if you can hold Bijan, do it. Because I think he's worth more than getting rid of him to try to win this. Because if you lose, like then you're not going to have Bijan. If not, those are some guys we're targeting. But again, Elliot, thank you for your super chat. We appreciate you, man. Couldn't do it without you. I got to find my place again.
Hopefully that's helpful for you.
Yeah.
Boone says, what wide receivers or running backs could I get for AR5?
I'm thinking wide receiver 2, running back 2 ranges right now is what you're going to get for Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
So those are going to be guys like Josh Jacobs, maybe, if you could aim for him. Who knows? It just is going to depend also on your trade target or on your trade partner. I'm sorry. If your trade partner is desperate for a quarterback, like you could really target some high-end depth guys. But you should, if you're going to trade away Anthony Richardson, in my opinion, you should definitely be aiming for guys that you can at least flex.
Yep.
Because if you have Anthony Richardson and you're not currently starting him and that's why you're trading him, you're probably considering trading the other guy as well. Like if you've got another quarterback, like I think Anthony Richardson would be the one.
I'm looking at safe guys. I'm looking at Chris Godwin. I'm looking at Michael Pittman. I'm looking at,
you go.
Again, like we've said this so much, so many people are incredibly low on Calvin Ridley right now because they sold their souls for him early in the offseason and it hasn't paid off so far, so they want to get rid of him. I'm looking at guys like even if you can't get AR off your hands for a couple weeks and Romeo Doubs keeps producing at this level, like that would be something where you could even get Doubs plus. And I would think that's kind of safe, honestly, at the rate that he's producing right now. So,
all right, yeah. Hey, drop a like on the video because we're not two 50-year-old men talking about fantasy football, and we bring some youth and in-studio presence as well. That wasn't a shot at anybody. I was just highlighting our good qualities because our bad qualities make themselves known every time we get on camera. So
we're so youthful.
Yes. Yeah. I also traded Richardson, Waller, and Barkley for Breece Hall, Hurts, and Andrews last week. Goodness sakes. I mean, yeah. Absolutely. It's a lateral move at quarterback, most likely. It's a huge upgrade at tight end. And Breece Hall for Barkley, I mean, it's not going to look that bad now that we're already in week 5 of the season. I'm cool with that trade. Good job. Phoenix says, got an offer of Tua for Christian Kirk, Zach Ertz, and Luke Musgrave. What do you think? 14-team league, full PPR. This is a deeper league.
In a 14
so depth is important. I'm taking Tua still. I'm sorry. There's 2 tight ends. I'll stream tight end and start Tua.
Kirk is such a target hog, and all of his snaps are coming in the slot, just like last season.
I know, but it's Tua. Like,
I know.
I'm still comfortable with this.
I mean, what QB do you currently have?
Yeah, who's your current?
That's a big question.
Let us know. All right, I'll let you take some.
Hunter Hot says Puka and a 2024 first for Waddle or no way. Wow.
Wow is right.
The fact that I'm even pausing and looking at this and thinking about it is unreal.
It is.
It's not because I'm high on Puka. I'm just worried about how much Puka is going to be valued as the season progresses and as questions of Puka or as Cooper Kupp's health rises as well. So I'm 3269.
69.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's go.
Nice.
Help me answer this question, Avery.
Waddle. I'm taking Waddle.
Go safe, take Waddle.
Yep.
Bench 2-2. Kyron Williams, Daniel Jones, Kittle.
We already answered
that. Was already,
yep.
Yeah.
You're good.
Kyle McGee says 2 QB league. I have Allen and Burrow at quarterback. Nice, but not nice with Burrow playing like he is right now. I'm trying to trade for Stroud. Should I offer Burrow or Brian Robinson instead? I have JT Kamara, Swift, and B-Rob, and can't start them all. Well, if you can't start them all, trade away B-Rob. So
iPhoenix said his quarterback is Deshaun Watson.
So
I think
I'm taking the Kirk side.
No, this is for Tua, the Tua trade.
I know.
Oh, you're
taking
the
Kirk
Kirk.
side.
I'm taking Tua. So sorry, we're not helping you on that.
But then he's getting 2 QBs on his roster, so then he definitely
Deshaun
can't
Watson's
start
not
one
doing
of them.
anything right now, though.
Well, dude, he was injured. He's been fine. He's fine. Like he's complete. I mean, Tua.
Fine is generous.
Tua had a down week too. Like
yeah, he's playing the Bills.
Okay, but Deshaun. Deshaun had his best game against a division rival.
We got to answer our
team,
super chat.
and he's.
Shut up.
I think.
All right, Austin Hicks says, and by the way, Austin, we appreciate you. Thank you for your super chat. Non-PPR only allowed 3 wide receivers total. Wide receiver 1 is Hill. Wide receiver 2 is Olave. Flex is Puka. Holy crap. Do I drop Olave for Nico? No.
No, thank you.
$800 the winner of the league. Holy crap, that's a high stakes league. Currently 2-2. Thank you. You are very welcome. No, we're still confident in Olave. We still are gonna bet on Olave, and we always knew he was gonna be a little bit boom bust. That's just the kind of player he is. Last week you saw the bust, and I think people are gonna start freaking out about that. It could make Chris Olave a good buy low. Maybe we should write that down for our video. But right now, and it feels like an $800 question. No, I don't think I'm dropping Olave for Nico Collins. I think I'm more comfortable with Olave rest of season. Yeah. You agree with that?
Yep, I do agree.
All right, there's your answer. Austin, again, thank you so much, man. We appreciate you. Thanks for joining the show.
$5 super chat for $800 league winning advice.
Okay,
there you go.
That's
That's great value,
right.
Austin.
Yeah, that's right. You got to cheap on that one. All right, where are we at?
Ahmed says, should I trade Devonta Smith, Adam Thielen, and Zach Moss all for Devontae Adams?
Wow.
Depends on how comfortable you are with losing that depth, because, I mean, Thielen right now is a must-start every single week. If you're not even able to start Adam Thielen right now, then, yeah, absolutely, I'm taking that deal. But I think if you've got a wide-open flex spot that you're sacrificing because of that deal, and you don't really have a lot of answers in your depth, then I would say hold off for now.
Yeah, I'd probably hold off. I mean, Devontae Adams also hurt his shoulder pretty bad yesterday, so
yeah.
Devonta Smith
came back in, though.
Devonta Smith is producing at a wide receiver 1 level, isn't he?
Devonta Smith?
Yeah, isn't he a wide receiver 1 so far?
I think so. I can pull it up.
Yeah, I'll go to the next question. Joseph says he's in a Superflex PPR league with half-point rushing attempts and 3 receivers. It's 2-2. He lost Chubb and Mike Williams. Should I trade Mahomes and Stevenson for Stroud, Saquon, and James Cook?
I mean, you're getting Saquon and James Cook.
I want to know who your quarterback is, but yes, in a half.
I mean, maybe Stroud.
Half point.
Or a super flex.
Oh, yeah, you're getting Stroud. Yes, yeah. I'm good making that trade. Are you good making that trade?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am too. All right, Flair. Should I do Mike Evans and Gibbs for Cooper Kupp? That's so risky. Again, we're not super confident on the health of Cooper Kupp for rest of season. But it's a league-winning move.
Shoot for the moon, man. Why not?
Cooper Kupp is our answer.
Why
not? Is Waddle benchable from Tyler? No, I would keep starting him. The minute you bench Waddle, he's gonna have
45 points. Yeah,
it's always like that.
Yep. Spear says got offered Stroud, Laporta, 24 first, likely 1 or 2 pick. Wow. Okay. For my pits, Bryce Howell, Tutu, and Shaheed.
Yes.
Should I take it?
Oh my gosh.
Dude. Yeah.
I would take it without the pick. Holy crap. That's awesome. Well done. All right.
Yeah.
Tyler also said, is Waddle benchable for Dobbs? I'm assuming that's Dubs. Or somebody said it was Dobbs on our video today. People really love to correct us on pronunciation. Somebody's like, it's H-N.
It's Dobbs, or it's Dobbs, not Dobbs. I was like, okay.
Okay, same thing.
Okay. No, we do Waddle. We'd still do Waddle this week.
We did get a super chat here. Brandon says, thank you for your guys' advice and quick responses on video comments. Won me my week last minute change, looking good because of domain. And a 1,500. Sometimes I underestimate the amount of money we have on some of these opinions. This is, dude, Brandon.
We are a success story.
We are
dude,
super
I'm
happy to help.
For you. Next time you ask me a question, I'm gonna be like, whoo.
Dude,
all right.
That's awesome. Dude, thank you for your super chat, and it's legit people like you who are very generous with us that allows us to keep doing this, and so we hope you can continue to make good moves in that league and win your league, because that is going to be freaking awesome. And continue to put your comments. And if you want to, honestly, the best way to get to us is to go to flockfantasy.com/domain. When you do that, you get it's the honest truth. It's not even a plug. But when you're flockfantasy.com/domain, you get access to our Discord as well. And then people just DM us, and that's what we do for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So we at the very least we have an ear to the
DMs.
ground for fantasy content and fantasy rankings. So again, Brandon, we appreciate you too, man. You're a great supporter, and we love having you on.
Yep,
and then Grind Time 508. I like that name. Most likely going 1 and 3. That is unfortunate. Let's fix this. 12-team PPR. Hurts, Bijan, Mixon. Wide receiver is going to be Jacoby and Puka Nakua. Tight end is going to be Waller. Flex is going to be Rashad. Bench is going to be Christian Watson, Dotson, Brian Robertson, Rasheed Palmer. Any trade ideas? All right, let's help you out.
Yeah.
So let's start at the top. You've got Hurts. I mean, when I'm thinking about a 1-3 team, one of the first places that I can look for potential upgrades is if I can start streaming quarterback and down tier my elite quarterback like a Jalen Hurts, like a Patrick Mahomes, to get some depth or to get some higher option starters. So right now, I'm looking at your starters, Bijan and Mixon. Honestly, those are two guys I'm comfortable with. Wide receiver, Jacoby and Puka. I would want to get a better wide receiver option in there. So if you can go in and trade Jalen Hurts and go get even a Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley plus type receiver, Chris Godwin, help me out. Who else? Michael Pittman. Those guys, I'm comfortable doing that, but I would start at quarterback. Looking through here at I would be selling potentially on your bench if you could move Christian Watson.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Your depth, right? You're 1-3. Your depth isn't winning you any games right now. So package 2 wide receivers and get a straight up better wide receiver for for some person in your league that's 3-1, 4-0 right now is like, you know what? I'm doing really well right now, but I think I need depth to keep winning. And capitalize on that. Capitalize on it. Buy a guy that hasn't been producing for a week or two on his team that he's kind of low-ish on and do that. Because at this point, you're 1-3. You got to make a push. You can't worry about your depth at the end of the season because your depth isn't going to matter if you're not making the playoffs. Yeah. So just shoot for ceiling. Yep.
That's what I would do too. And then, I do like Josh Palmer on your bench. So look into those trades. Again, I think I'm keeping Puka. If you can trade Waller for anything, we're doing that.
Yeah, I was thinking about packaging Waller in with Hurts for...
You could do that as well.
Just trade Waller straight up.
Or if you can't trade Waller for anything straight up, use him as a throw-in at the very least. We have 69 viewers right now. Nice on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Nice.
All right, Grind Time 508. We appreciate you so much. Thanks for your super chat. Couldn't do it without you. My man, let's jump back up here. Nathan, you have our spot.
Yeah, Alex says, are you guys selling high on Fields after Sunday or holding? Spoiler alert, we are...
Holding.
Yeah, we're holding.
Yes.
We're holding for now. We are definitely in Dynasty. That's a whole nother conversation.
I think what I said in the video was we'd be idiots to sell Justin Fields in fantasy. So yeah, we're gonna hold Justin Fields. I actually have a Justin Fields share, believe it or not.
And it's not because of his passing volume. It's honestly because
rushing.
His rushing. Yeah.
Yes.
Gator fan 15. Definitely don't drop him.
Hey, what's up, Gator fan 15?
Dropping him.
I know that name.
Yeah. Hey, it's like an AR fan. What do you think about Carr versus Howell rest of the season? I have Mahomes as my QB1 in my 2 QB league, but I don't feel super comfortable about either of the other QBs going forward. Play Sam Howell until Carr gets healthy, and then we can reevaluate the situation. But right now, it's without question Sam Howell after a big week, Carr with a very, very bad week and banged up.
We're dropping frames. We didn't run Ethernet. So.
Oh, are you serious?
Oh, crap.
All right.
It's okay, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry if it cuts out.
Yeah. Can you run it right now?
You'd have to switch over the networks.
Yeah.
So
okay.
We'll let it run, but it's starting to lag. So
okay.
Yeah. I'm
sorry about that, guys. Keep going.
Yep. Elliot Doctor says have Tyreek and never mind. Austin Hicks says non-PPR only allowed 3 wide receivers total. Wide receiver 1 is Tyreek Hill. Wide receiver 2 is Olave. Flexing Puka. Do I drop Olave for Nico? Absolutely not. Do not drop Olave for Nico. $800 for the winner of the league currently 2-2. Yeah, definitely not doing that. GatorFan15 says, do you have any general trade advice in redraft? Because you want to get the best trade overall, but you don't want to insult the other team. That's a good question. And by the way, I'm alone right now because we're dropping frames. We're fixing it for you right now, but it's just me. Avery's getting the Wi-Fi fix here. That's a good question with general trade advice because this depends on who you're playing with. If you're playing with casuals, I don't think that you're capable of insulting any of them because none of them know what they're doing. Like, you can sell so many things in casual leagues. I mean, I saw, and maybe you see this in serious leagues as well, but like I saw Calvin Ridley last week go straight up for Jacoby Myers in the casual league, and no one ever thought that was insulting. Like, they literally, I don't know if you ever heard of Roto. At the end of the day, it's all about how you present it. You can get some really good trades done, but you have to but it's just the way you reason with them. It's just the way that you interact with them. Some of them will be like, oh, that's a stupid trade. Oh, that's dumb. I would never do that. I would never trade Jerome Ford straight up for Michael Pittman. Lo and behold, it actually ends up happening because someone actually really likes Jerome Ford and you never knew it until you tried. So do it in a respectful way. If they say, no way, I'm definitely not doing that, you're an idiot, say, I'm sorry, man. Like, I didn't mean to insult you. We can try again another day for a different deal or someone else. That's just how I usually approach trades, and it works pretty well. So, JSafe says Kenneth Walker RB3 over Brees.
What's up, John?
Question mark. No, we're starting Brees this week. Chase Weber says, are we on Ethernet now?
We are,
Let's
but
go.
we dropped a bunch of viewers because I accidentally dropped some. We froze for a minute, so sorry about that. I got it fixed.
Chase Weber says 10-team half PPR single flex. Danny Dimes, Jacobs, Kyron Williams. I'm not going to read your whole. Should I trade for QB upgrade? In a start one QB, no, you're fine with Daniel Jones. I'm completely fine with that.
Yeah.
Bike Walker says, what's up? Need a defense for this week. Thinking between Washington, Chicago, no, Detroit versus Carolina. Oh, he's saying Washington versus Chicago, Detroit versus Carolina, or Houston versus Atlanta. I would go Washington there because they're the actual good defense in that situation, and they're playing Chicago. So Adam says, trade DK for Connor. Or who could I trade DK for running back wise? My running backs are Swift, Gibbs, JT, and Roschon. So you've got JT coming back healthy in a couple weeks at least, or at the latest. Trading DK for Connor, yeah, I'm comfortable with that. Are you?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I would do that. Double I Phoenix says, I have Watson, picked up Baker for last week. Cool. I think having Deshaun Watson at QB is fine. I think a lot of people might be freaking out. Just hold him. I think you're fine if that's the one QB you have in a one QB league. Damian Stretch says, good evening, chaps from over the pond. Good evening. I'm a massive fan of Laporta and been offered Debo and Laporta for A-Chain and DK. 12-team Superflex non-tight end premium. Can A-Chain continue at this rate, keep or trade? So in a non-tight end premium league, I'm actually going to hold off on that. Because of how high a lot of people in fantasy are right now on A-Chain, I really do believe that with A-Chain's production the last couple of weeks that you can get even more for that. We really like Laporta in Dynasty. We even like him a lot in fantasy, but in a non-tight end premium league, there's only so much upside he's going to be able to offer you. For that to pay off, he'd have to be a top 4 at least producing tight end this season.
All right, we're getting up to an hour here, so let's rapid fire these questions. Where are you starting at?
J-Safe.
That's John. What's up, John?
He says Olave hasn't gotten the end zone yet. Too early to get worried about him. Great buy low.
Yeah.
We definitely agree there.
Yeah.
Elliot says move Deshaun Watson, Danny Dimes, and Marvin Mims and got Burrow and a 12-team full PPR. Thoughts?
That's in Dynasty.
If you're talking about Dynasty, yeah, I like that deal.
All right, guys, we're going to be live for about 3 more minutes, so we're going to go through all the questions we can. We'll prioritize Super Chats till the end of time, and then we are going to go record our videos for the week. So let's keep through this. Zach says, I need Eckler back. Yeah, we all do, dude. Amari Cooper and Olave killed me this week, so I took a bad L in that league this week. Sorry about that, Zach. I mean, I feel you, man. We all are dealing with injuries like now, especially me. Elliot says he had 3 buys, and that stinks. Chef says, what kind of comment or question gets the gong to take a hit? I think we're just saving that for the right time. Like, it's just like more the suspense of it being there is kind of keeping people watching, I think.
And the less we do it, the more rewarding and satisfying it is every time we do. So
yes.
We're just saving it for the good stuff.
Tyler says Waddle hasn't done anything. Trust me, we know. Curtis says, what do I trade to get Fields? No, don't do that. And what could he be worth? I would just not trade for Fields.
Yeah.
We have a couple full roster questions, but we'll skip those for now because we won't have time. Robert Thomas says, hey, gang, what's up? Robert Officer Nasty says, would you trade away Jerome Ford for Hollywood or Romeo Doubs?
Either one.
Either one of those is good. Kyle says, no QB is available, by the way, on the waiver wire, and that's for his roster. Yeah, sorry, Kyle. We'll have to get you next time for sure. Coco says, someone offered me Aaron Jones and T. Higgins for Nico Collins. Should I accept or nah? Yes.
Nah.
Aaron Jones and T. Higgins.
I thought he was getting the Nico Collins side. Yes, I'd take Aaron Jones
and T. Higgins. Either way. PPR, Tank or Nico rest of season. Crap, he's getting us in trouble, dude. Nico.
I'll say Nico. Sam says Tank.
Should I trade Stevenson and Palmer for JT? You should trade Stevenson and Palmer for JT. Officer Nasty asks where the questions are being asked. Right freaking here, my man. Brandon says, do you think Jameson Williams will produce at least enough to at least flex? Probably not, but he's still a good waiver pickup anyways. Richardson's trade value tier in 6.1 QB league. I mean, he's a top-tier quarterback right now. So, I would be trying to trade for a wide receiver 2, running back 2.
Yeah.
Brandon says, would you trade DJ Moore for Ridley? Yes. Luis says, Pick one running back, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. Mixon, Pollard, Mixon. All right, 1 running back is Pollard. 2 wide receivers, Lamb and Olave, not Kupp in his first week. And a flex, Mixon.
Yep.
Curtis, Dynasty Superflex guy asking about Teal on Stroud. Won't make the playoffs, but neither will he. Thoughts on moving in price? You have Kyler Murray as well. I would charge a high bargain for those guys. I don't want to be selling Trevor Lawrence right now in Dynasty because you're selling low, and Stroud is elite. Got an offer to give Justin Jefferson for Diggs and Josh Jacobs. Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I'd do that.
Chef says, appreciate you guys in the grind. You do, Chef. We appreciate you, my man. Gio says, trying to move Pacheco and Pierce for wide receiver. Do you think it's worth going after? Who? Pacheco and Pierce. Chris Godwin, Michael Pittman. Calvin Ridley.
Yep.
Yeah, those guys. Christian Kirk.
Yep.
All right, that's going to do it, guys. We got to go record our videos for the week. If you haven't already, get that number to go up. We did lose a subscriber just now, so let's go. We did that.
Yeah.
It was at 69. Dang it. That was so satisfying.
That is really sad.
Hey, we appreciate you guys joining us. We are going to have to log off of here, but we will be back here soon. Again, thank you guys so much for joining us. We will catch you later. Have fun watching football tonight. Peace out.